Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make some different types of Christmas earrings using bezels and UV resin. I've already placed the bezels on the UV resin tape, and that's going to keep that UV resin from leaking, but I would make sure to press down your bezels really hard onto that tape so that it won't leak. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it about halfway full of the UV resin. And I would only, if you're a beginner, just do a couple at a time and then work your way up from there once you get more experienced at it. Take a toothpick to work your resin all around the edges, and then a lighter will pop those bubbles for you so that you can put your items inside. I chose to use these, it almost looks like Christmas lights to me. I used some green and red ones, and they have a very nice shimmer to them, and they reminded me of Christmas. So I went ahead and added those into a couple of my bezels. And you don't really have to be too careful with this because you're going to stir them in together anyway. So just place them in there. Getting some resin on your toothpick first helps to pick those up. And then I'm going to add the red just right in with the green. And I'm going to mix them together. And to me, this looks more like a classic Christmas collar earring. I'm going to add some silver glitter in as well. If it gets stuck on the tape, sometimes you can't get it off, that's okay. And so sometimes these bezels have ridges, so even if you've pressed firmly on the tape, you will get some leaking happening. The very last two on my right actually did leak, so I couldn't use those. Here's the glitter that I'm using. It's silver glitter. I'm just adding it in, and so the glitter isn't floating on the top. I will mix that in with the other glitter flakes as well. And anything that I'm using in this video, if you want to know where I got it, I will put the link on my description for you of all the items I've used in this video. And I did a few more in different variations, and then I went ahead and got these red jewels out. So the red jewels, they have a white back, so you want to make sure that white back is on the back of the earring. So flip them over to the red side. These reminded me of Christmas ornaments. That's why I'm using them. When you're making the pair of earrings, just try to make them similar. They can't be perfect since, you know, they're being handmade, but they can be close. I got one too many in there, so I had to get my tweezers. And it didn't want to come off. There we go. And that one got stuck on the tape, so I had to get it off too. A toothpick is your best friend when you're using resin things because they work so well. So this is actually a green and silver foil, and they came in these little containers, and I've used different types of them for different projects, but I just thought the green and silver would work well for these Christmas earrings. So I used it in that pair. And then I also thought this reminded me of tinsel that you would put on a Christmas tree, so I added a little bit of that in there as well. It also kind of has a snowy feel. I'm just trying not to hide the red jewels in there. And then for the other ones, I used some of these silver jewels, making sure the white is flipped to the back. And those are just like a different size Christmas ornament is what I was thinking. And then you just want to make sure your other one has a similar placement of the jewels. And that can take a second to do to get it just right. And then for the other little rectangles, I decided to use more of the tinsel looking glitter. They're like glitter flakes is what they are. And then I added some red and others in it. And that's what it looks like. You want to put it under the UV light for about 3 minutes. And then you're going to add the top doming effect for the UV resin. So you want to be very careful not to overfill the resin because it will make a mess. It'll go on your other earrings. It's hard to clean up. So just be very careful when you're doing this step to not overfill it, but you do want a little bit of a dome on top. And make sure not to underfill it as well. You don't want to see that there's any holes or gaps in it. So take time and be careful with this step. And there was a couple of my bezels that leaked slightly, and I'll show you how to fix that. If it wasn't a big leak, you can fix it. I'll show you how to do that towards the end. I love this UV resin bottle. I love how you can just squeeze it right in and you could be pretty accurate with where you're putting your resin, which is nice. This also gives your resin pieces a finished look. Make sure to use that lighter quickly to get all the bubbles out. Put it under the UV resin light for another 3 minutes. And when I take it off the tape, I like to flip those over and do it for another couple minutes on the back of the earring as well. So this right here is just a slight leak that was at the bottom, but you can take pliers and literally just take it right off. So just get a good hold on it and it'll come right off. And because when I first begun, I thought, oh, I've ruined the earring. There's nothing I can do because you can't sand metal. But then I figured out you can pull that right off and then your earring is not ruined, which is nice. Go ahead and put your jump ring on and your earring hook. Also, if you have a sticky fill from the tape, you can use rubbing alcohol to get that off the back of your earring as well. I didn't videotape that part, but you can clean up the back as well, because sometimes it leaves like even a green sticky residue on it. Put your jump ring, your earring hook, close it up, and you have finished earrings. And they look really cute. So this is what I use the flower for. I know it's not really Christmassy, but that you can make a necklace out of it, or I get this big set of earring cards on Amazon. That's what I use to sell my earrings that are dangles. You just put them on the earring card, and then you have a rubber back that you can add on. You can add those on each of your earrings. And I feel like the rubber backs work best for your dangles, but I use them on my studs as well. And then look how pretty those finished earrings turned out. They're definitely cute and Christmassy. This is what they look like on all the cards, and now they're ready to go put in my booth at the craft mall I sell them at. If you like this, please subscribe.